Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm your presenter, Mervin. Thank you for joining us. In headlines, Minister for Community Development calls on nationals to support their village councils. Construction work on the new Vikas Health Center nears completion, and the call for optimum service from the island's healthcare professionals. Details of the headline stories and others coming up.
Scary! Everything just shaking and making big, creaky noises.
Earthquakes, big and small, take place in the Caribbean at least 10 times a year.
The dishes rattling and falling and breaking. Then Vonnie started to scream.
All I could think to do was shout, "Get outside, get out!"
Earthquakes, hazards, take control, reduce your loss. If an earthquake hits, what can you do? Get down, get under an item of furniture like a table. Hold on and stay there until the quake passes. Find out lots more about earthquakes and other hazards at your local disaster office. A message from your National Disaster Office and SIDERA.
Welcome back. Minister for Sports, Culture and Community Development, Honorable ROSELYN Paul, has called on nationals to support the councils in their communities. Speaking on Focus on Government and Development radio program with Darrell Teat last week, the Honorable Minister explained that support is critical for the success of the councils.
For your village council to be effective as well, you need to provide the support. You need to work with the village council, because 8 people in a council, or 13 as in the case of the city council, cannot do it alone. I also commend the city council as well, as the very first day after my swearing in. Yes, my first order of business was for the inauguration or the swearing in of the city council. So I urge all of these local authorities to continue to do work, and much of the work too that the council does or they could do is through KUDME. So that is an area where our communities need to continue to support the village councils. And this is a spirit we need to continue in our various communities. It is a very important tradition that we should hold there, but it is also a tradition which has benefited the communities tremendously. And so even as we build resilience, we have to ensure that we have the spirit of KUDME, of self-help, of support to communities.
During the program, the Honorable Minister made particular mention of the restoration of the old mill, which will be an important tool in the promotion of cultural tourism.
I see the old mill as an area that we should really develop in terms of heritage interpretation, apart from just fixing the stage, doing the whole history, the story, maybe having a hike along the trail, a cultural animation product, as we seek to develop the old mill, that it can be developed into a tourism project that people a product that people make a stop. And in particular, as we are looking at having a cruise village, we expect increased tourist arrivals. Some tourists may not necessarily want to leave around town. So these, as we speak, doing heritage and culture tourism, there are some key areas that we can develop in terms of promoting the culture and selling it as cultural tourism.
Honorable Paul reiterated the need for training and preservation of traditional forms of cultural expressions.
In terms of training, in terms of the art forms, in terms of costume building, and a critical area that supports our carnival and other festivals. And those are some of the areas we would look in culture, but continue to ensure that our young people can learn our traditional dances. So we have a number of officers that goes to the school, and so this is an area that we would continue. And as you would note, a lot of for example, the Jinping band players are of senior age, and if we lose them, we may tend to lose the Jinping ban. So this is very important that we continue to train these people so that we can first preserve our traditional aspect of our culture, but in order to and continue to promote it.
In more news, Minister for Public Works and the Digital Economy, Honorable Senator Cassany LaVielle, says government continues to take action to transform the country's digital economy. Senator LaVielle, speaking at a press conference on Monday, said government has engaged several organizations to assess challenges and suggest a way forward for the development of Dominica's digital economy.
This assessment of our digital economy revealed challenges associated with geographic remoteness, small populations and domestic markets, leading to limited investment attractions, lack of economies of scale, and limited resource capacity. Additionally, vulnerability to climate change and environmental shocks. Appreciating these challenges, the government has therefore taken the lead to initiate this transformation by creating policy and acquiring requisite financing from the World Bank and ECCB for this pursuit. The undertaking will bring together all arms of government and multiple economic and social sectors using an ecosystem approach.
Construction work on the new VIELLE Health Center is nearing completion. This was confirmed by Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, who is also the parliamentary representative for the VIELLE constituency. Honorable Skerrit visited the project site last Friday.
Work was started in October of 2019, and I've been advised by the developers and the contractors that we'll have a completion date by April 15, 2020.
The new health center is being constructed to support Dominica's new climate resilience policy.
This health center will be hurricane proof, and all part of the resilience building efforts in our country. That whatever structures we put in, we are mindful of our exposure to the natural disasters. Not only hurricanes, but also seismic activity. So the designs and the engineering took into consideration the seismic activities in Dominica.
Accommodation for nurses and doctors will also be made available.
We're making provision for the accommodation for the district nurse as well, because that sometimes is a challenge in our ability to attract and to retain nurses to work in the out district. And so the government has taken a deliberate decision that all of these health centers we're building, all of these health facilities we're building, that appropriate accommodation will need to be made for the doctors and nurses. So I'm happy that we have taken a decision, and we're seeing it being manifested here in VIELLE. So we look for this towards completion. It will certainly enhance the delivery of primary healthcare services, a more conducive working environment, a more conducive living environment for the district nurses.
The project was funded by the Citizenship by Investment program.
This health center, like the others, are being financed with resources from the Citizenship by Investment program, which continues to be of tremendous help to Dominica as we seek to build our country and to rebuild our country after the devastation by Hurricane Maria. So things are looking up where health services is concerned. We know that this is a topical issue in Dominica, delivery of healthcare services, the facilities. So we're seeking to respond to the challenges and to the concerns of the society. And I think we're well on our way with that. And we look forward to the continued collaboration and cooperation of all stakeholders.
Honorable Skerrit spoke of plans for a health center in the community of Penville and urged citizens to utilize the health centers.
As a member of Parliament for this constituency, I'm very grateful for this, and one can just wait with expected excitement for the completion of this facility. And it will replace a facility that was built, I believe, in the 1950s or 60s with many interventions of repairs and so forth. But this building will certainly be for us for a very long time. And so we're very grateful for it here in this constituency. We have a second health center, new health center being constructed in Penville, in Lower Penville, with the same general design, with some modifications. But again, the same engineering, the same aesthetics appeal, the same progressive functional use of the floor space, and no doubt it will enhance primary health care.
You're watching National Focus. More when you return.
I've been in the business for over 16 years. I get up in the mornings and I look forward to having the next cruise ship berth on island. When the visitor steps off the ship, the first impression is me, and I believe that I need to put my best foot forward and to ensure that everything I do it to the best of my ability. Based on my recommendation, visitors go to various sites, restaurants, bars, and vendors. I take that responsibility very seriously. I would like that the guest receives the same service that I have provided to that individual or guest. This business is bigger than me. Everybody plays a role. The cleaner who cleans my bus, my mechanic who does my checks, those persons ensure that I provide a quality service to the guest. The tourism dollar doesn't just stop with me. It allows me to pay the bank, visit the supermarket to feed myself and family, and have a drink with friends. My name is Jenna Gist, and tourism is my business.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt has called on medical professionals to provide optimum services to their patients. The Honorable Prime Minister made the appeal during a visit to the project site of the Marigot Hospital last Friday.
What I believe from listening to the public, we have to now seek to address is the delivery of the services. Where people complain about, we have to improve on our interpersonal skills and our customer relation skills and our bedside skills and our, we have to be a little bit more caring and more loving and more conscious of that. If you speak to somebody nicely, the person will feel better. And the person can get well much faster than if you speak to the person in an unkind way. And I always keep telling people, you're a nurse, you're a doctor, you work at a hospital, you work at a health center. These things don't prevent you from getting sick. As a matter of fact, you can even get sick much quicker than many of us who are there roaming, because you're exposed to all sorts of illnesses. And so you will one day, yes, you're providing care now, but one day you'll be receiving.
The new Minister for Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Honorable Dr. Irving McIntyre, says changes have been made in the designs for the new Marigot Hospital.
The hospital itself, apart from the operating theatre and the dialysis, we made certain adjustments regarding the space for the pharmacy, adjustments regarding our maternity department there. And in terms of the accommodation for our staff, because every now and then we always have the issue of staff not being able to accommodate it properly, and then we have to try to get them on time, and we have emergencies. So with all this accommodation right here, with our facility, that should not be an issue, so to speak.
The minister says the hospital will provide comfort to staff and will be very accessible to patients.
Apart from all the facilities that we're going to have here, the whole structure and the whole surrounding is going to be a very comforting one, a very relaxing one, an environment where we can have a little park, our car parks, our little gardens and stuff. So when you come to this, it's like not just coming to a hospital, you come into a wellness center, a place that comforts you both mentally and can take care of you both physically. And when you consider the area where this is being built, we have to put things into the larger context. Very soon we'll be having an international airport, which won't be far from here. We already have our Douglas Charles Airport, so the sort of services we can provide there, that is emergency services, God forbid anything were to happen. But having such a facility here is very fitting in that regard, because you never know what can happen. So that comes in at a very critical time in our development.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Economic Affairs and Planning, Senator Honorable Gregory Rivera, expressed gratitude to the government and encouraged constituents to take advantage of the new employment opportunities.
I really want to thank the government of Dominica for keeping to its promise. And usually you gauge a government by its operation in its first 100 days. And we have not even reached 50 days yet. And we are here today commencing the start, of course, of the Marigot Hospital. So I really want to thank the government of Dominica. I think it's an opportunity for tremendous employment opportunity. We are hoping that the people from Marigot and surrounding communities can take advantage of this opportunity. It's a significant project, a state-of-the-art project, of course, which will be the envy of many. And so we want people to take advantage. Of course, as Dr. Mark indicated, we would expect us to take care of this facility.
Meantime, project manager of Montreal Management Consultants, Chris Timmins, says the hospital will be fully equipped to carry out its daily functions.
It's very much the ground floor of the hospital designed on a day care hospital philosophy. So people can come in, there's dialysis units, there's CAT scanners, there's X-ray scanners, there's a dental surgery, I think there's 6 various clinics. There's a state-of-the-art manufacturing pharmacy facility. There's 3 maternity suites. We're going to incorporate a special care baby unit as well. Upstairs, we've got a full sterile unit. The sterile unit's going to have 2 operating theatres. It's got 8 intensive care beds. It's got an intensive care dialysis unit to complement the dialysis unit that's going on the lower ground floor level. There's 3 male wards, medical wards, 15 beds. There's 3 female medical wards with 15 beds. There's 2 children's wards with 10 children's beds. On top of that, there are 4 private stroke isolation wards as well, where they can double up as a private hospital room or an isolation.
The hospital is expected to be completed by April 2021. Now for the weather outlook. A high-pressure system will remain dominant across the area during the next 24 hours, limiting significant shower activity across Dominica. Meanwhile, a frontal boundary is expected to generate a few showers across parts of the Leeward Islands today. Slight to moderate seas are expected during the next 24 hours, with waves peaking near 7 feet. An increase to 8 feet is projected by tomorrow Wednesday into Thursday as surface winds strengthen. A further increase in swells are expected thereafter into the weekend, for which warnings may become necessary. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, as well as on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here, the GIS News Production team, I am Mervin. Thank you for watching.